Hey guys, Harsh here and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to compare two smartphones, the Vivo X200 Pro and the iPhone 16 Pro. Now the reason why I am comparing these two smartphones in the first place is because of the cameras. I feel that the cameras on the Vivo X200 Pro are just incredible and it would be interesting to see whether or not it beats the iPhone 16 Pro in terms of photos as well as videos. Videography is the main thing that I want to test because that's been a thing that iPhone has been in front for like a lot of years and no other smartphone has caught up to iPhone in terms of videography. But I think it's going to change today. I'm not sure yet because I've not seen the footage yet. But let's see what happens. Currently I'm packing because we're not going to shoot this in the studio. We're going out to shoot this. So I'm taking all my gear, a drone also, like just in case. But yeah, one thing for sure, that you guys are going to have fun. So sit back, relax and have a cup of chai. Okay. What do you think? Which one is going to win? iPhone or Vivo?
It's like my heart says iPhone, but my mind says Vivo.
Yeah, same here. Now, before we get to the cameras, I want to talk about the entire phone experience as well, starting with size. With the iPhone 16 Pro, you get two sizes, 16 Pro and Pro Max. But with the Vivo, you only get one size, which is a pretty big phone, by the way. Like, I have the phone here with me. So this is a pretty big phone. You don't get an option of a smaller variant, which I think should have been there. Like, every Pro series should have two options because there are people who don't like big phones. So that is just my 2 cents on this. Just wanted to quickly update that there is an X200 Pro Mini in the global market, but it has not come to India as of yet. So that's what I was trying to say, that the Mini should come to India. Then we have a couple of options in terms of size. And apart from that, the design is very subjective. I personally like the design of Vivo X200 Pro because of how the camera module looks. Like, the camera module looks very serious on this. It's a big camera module. It's a camera island practically. So I do prefer that because when I whip out this phone, people know that this phone is serious when it comes to photography as well as videography. So that is pretty subjective. And as far as the in-hand feel goes, I like both of these smartphones similarly in terms of in-hand feel. But I will say one thing though, because of the huge camera module, whenever I'm holding this smartphone and using it, it does come in between and sometimes that is irritating. That is not the case with the iPhone 16 Pro. Whenever I hold and use the iPhone 16 Pro, on the back side, there is nothing that comes in between. But with this one, the camera module comes in between. I hope you get my point. Alright, let's do a quick display comparison in terms of brightness. So currently I am in outdoor sunny conditions and I've shot the exact same photo with both of these phones and displayed the respective photos on the phone itself. You can clearly see that the iPhone 16 Pro is brighter in outdoor direct sunny conditions. But both of them are completely usable in outdoor sunny conditions. It's not like the Vivo X200 Pro is not usable. Even this is plenty bright to use in outdoor sunny conditions. It's just that this one is brighter. Apart from that, the display quality on both of these phones is amazing. They're high refresh rate AMOLED displays with great contrast ratio, and the content viewing experience is excellent on both of these displays. Now, there is one more major difference in terms of the display. The Vivo X200 Pro has a curved display and the iPhone 16 Pro has a flat display. You already know my choice if you have been a long-term follower on this channel. I always prefer flat displays over curved displays. That is just my personal preference. But yeah, that is a difference between both of these phones. The next point is performance. See, my usage of a smartphone is very normal. Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, UPI payments, maybe watching some shows on Netflix and clicking a lot of photos and videos. Also, editing those photos and videos on the smartphone itself. Honestly, for my usage, a 30,000 rupee smartphone will also be good for performance. That's why these smartphones are also excellent for my usage in terms of performance. I've not noticed any major lags whatsoever. It has been a super smooth experience, but I would still recommend you to watch dedicated comparisons for gaming or other use cases if you are confused between both of these phones. My usage is very normal, and for that, both of these are excellent. One more point related to performance is software. See, software comes down to two things. Number one is the experience of using the software, and number two is the optimization of that software. In terms of experience, it comes down to personal preference. It's the age-old iOS versus Android debate, and at this point, both of these operating systems are very mature and have similar feature sets. And as far as Vivo's skin goes over Android, that is FunTouch OS 15, they've done a very good job with it. They've cleaned it up quite a bit. It's not as cluttered as before. It is a fast and clean experience. Same goes with the iPhone 16 Pro. fast and clean experience. But what about optimization? Well, here's where both of these smartphones are very good. Software optimization has not been an issue. They both run fairly fast and cool even in direct sunny conditions while shooting 4K videos. See, as I said before, it comes down to personal preference. I like both the operating systems, and this is not a diplomatic answer, this is a very honest answer. I genuinely like both the operating systems. It is now time to talk about the main difference: cameras. See, hardware wise, both of them have 3 cameras on the rear side: a main camera, an ultra wide angle camera, and then a telephoto camera. Main and ultra wide are pretty similar, but the difference, like the main difference, comes with the telephoto camera and especially the zoom capabilities. So we'll start there. We will start with the iPhone 16 Pro. It's at 1x, then we go to 2x, 5x, and we can go all the way up to 25x. So the range is from 1x to 25x. Let's quickly click a photo at 25x just to compare. Okay, I will click a photo of this sign. Now let's whip out the Vivo X200 Pro. So the zoom range here is 1x, 2x, 3.7x, 10x, and it can go all the way up to 100x. So the zoom range is way more for photos as compared to the iPhone 16 Pro. That is from 0.6x to 100x. Now let me quickly click a photo at 25x just like we did with the iPhone. Click. You can see the photo sample on your screen right now, and there is a big difference. Here are some more zoom samples from the iPhone 16 Pro and the Vivo X200 Pro. In terms of zoom, there is no competition whatsoever. Vivo X200 Pro is definitely way better in terms of zoom capabilities, and this is very handy when we go to live events, something like a cricket match or a music concert. There we need good zoom range because that is a very common occurrence now. Live events are a big thing, and a lot of people like to go to these events and actually shoot photos and videos. So for that, zoom range is very important, and that's where the Vivo X200 Pro is definitely better. Next point is portrait mode. The way portrait mode is handled by both of these smartphones is different. First up, they're both good in terms of edge detection as well as background blur. But the main difference lies in terms of colors, contrast ratio, and the way these phones handle details on the face. iPhone goes for a more natural approach, and on the other hand, Vivo goes for a more social media ready approach. There's a bit softening going on with the skin, and overall the image from Vivo looks more punchy as compared to the iPhone. But overall, if you consider, I like the look of the portrait that comes out of Vivo. What do you guys prefer? Let me know in the comments down below. Now, what about the main camera and the ultra wide angle camera? Well, here are some camera samples for you, and you can see for yourself which one is better. According to me, both of them do a very good job in terms of the main camera and the ultra wide angle camera. Like, the difference is not that much. Basically, you can click amazing photos with the main camera and the ultra wide angle camera with both of these smartphones. The dynamic range is impressive, and same goes for the colors. The processing of the images is a bit different though. The photos from Vivo are more social media ready, that is point, shoot and upload, whereas with the iPhone you will have to do a bit of editing, especially in terms of contrast. Like, the photos are a bit flat as compared to Vivo's photos. Now, one important point over here is the camera app and the features that come along with the camera app. iPhone's camera app is pretty straightforward and doesn't have a lot of features. On the other hand, Vivo's camera app is filled with features. There is stage mode, super landscape mode, moon mode, you name it. There are a lot of useful features available inside the camera application, and it is way more fun to use. See, photography wise, the X200 Pro is more versatile and fun to use as compared to the iPhone 16 Pro. I will definitely pick the X200 Pro over the iPhone 16 Pro in terms of photography. But what about videos? Let's find out. My cappuccino is here as well, so that is a nice thing. And here we are, comparing the video shot from iPhone 16 Pro and Vivo X200 Pro. Currently, I am shooting in 4K at 30 FPS from both of these smartphones, and I will be switching the audio as well. So you guys will get a clear idea as to which phone is better in terms of video recording as well as in terms of the microphone. Now, this is not a very well lit environment, so that is also a good thing. We'll get to see which one is better in terms of videos. Now, as far as my observations go, there is a difference in terms of the processing of videos. iPhone 16 Pro goes for a more flat approach, and the Vivo X200 Pro goes for a more contrasty approach. Now, that may or may not be good depending upon the lighting scenario. In some scenarios, that contrasty look of the X200 Pro is way better as compared to the iPhone 16 Pro's flat look, and in some other scenarios, the flat look is better as compared to the contrasty look. But for the most part, I prefer the flat look of the iPhone 16 Pro because that gives me more room in editing. I can edit the footage however I want to, but that same thing doesn't happen with the video footage of the X200 Pro. But I'm not saying that the X200 Pro is bad. In fact, it is very good for video shooting and almost there with the iPhone 16 Pro, and that is a big statement. Now, when it comes to raw quality, the X200 Pro can shoot up to 8K at 30 FPS, and iPhone maxes out at 4K 120 FPS. which by the way is also available with Vivo X200 Pro. Like 4K 120 FPS is available with both these smartphones. Now one more point over here is log mode. Log mode is available in both these smartphones, ProRes log on the iPhone 16 Pro and just log mode on the Vivo X200 Pro. This gives the ability to color grade the footage later on, and here is a quick sample. I'm really glad that log mode is available on both these phones, but the amount of data that the iPhone 16 Pro captures is way more as compared to the amount of data that Vivo captures. So that is the thing that you should take a note of. Now there is one more point that I want to talk about, that is cinematic video. For that, let's go outside. The sample that you're seeing right now is of cinematic video or portrait video from both of these phones shooting in 4K at 30 FPS at 2x. And I feel that this mode particularly is very useful because it gives that cinematic background blur. There is one more differentiating factor when it comes to photos which I forgot to mention, that is lens flare. This is a common problem with iPhones for years. When you try to click a photo of any light source, there will be ghosting and lens flares. But that problem is very minimal and almost non-existent with the Vivo X200 Pro because of one thing, that is the Zeiss T-Star coating. Alright, I'm back home and the only major thing left to talk about these phones is battery life and charging. This is where I feel Vivo has taken a big leap forward this year. They've moved to a 6000 mAh battery on the X200 Pro, and this is India's first semi-solid state battery. So essentially it's a change in the way batteries are made and it's working really well. The battery life on the X200 Pro is just awesome and blows the iPhone 16 Pro out of the water. Like, it's not even close. And same goes for charging actually. Vivo has 90-watt fast charging, which is extremely convenient, and iPhone still doesn't charge fast. Like, it will take at least 1 hour to 1 hour 20 minutes for the iPhone to charge completely. On the other hand, Vivo will charge completely in like under 1 hour, maybe like 40 minutes or so. And both of them have wireless charging, but Vivo also has reverse wireless charging, which is convenient to charge earbuds or something like that. This point is a no-brainer. Battery life and charging definitely goes to Vivo X200 Pro. It's time we talk about the small things which do matter. First is biometric authentication. It's Face ID on the iPhone 16 Pro versus an in-display fingerprint sensor on the Vivo X200 Pro. Both are really good, fast and reliable. Same goes for call quality. Excellent on both of these smartphones. I've not had any issues with call quality or data as such. What about the speakers? Well, honestly, I like the speakers on iPhone 16 Pro better as compared to the Vivo X200 Pro. Don't get me wrong, the speakers on the X200 Pro are also good, but iPhone just has better speakers. And finally, we come to the main thing, that is the price. iPhone 16 Pro is an expensive smartphone. It will cost you around 1,20,000 rupees. On the other hand, the Vivo X200 Pro will cost you only 95,000 rupees. So there is a big price difference, and there's also a difference in terms of the base storage. The X200 Pro has 512 GB of base storage. On the other hand, the iPhone 16 Pro has 128 GB of base storage. Like, if we do an apples to apples comparison, that means 512 GB versus 512 GB, that is a big amount. So essentially, Vivo X200 Pro is offering better value as compared to the iPhone 16 Pro. But with that being said, the brand value and trust is more with Apple. Like, after a certain price point, people do prefer brand value and trust, and it's very difficult to convince them to go for something else. I know that very well, because I have been trying to tell people that this phone has an excellent camera, you should go for it, but they would go out and buy an iPhone 16 Pro anyway. So I don't know how many people will get convinced after watching this video, and I'm not going to try to convince them as well. It comes down to personal preference. I hope the camera and video samples that I showed in this video will help. But yeah, if you are confused between iPhone 16 Pro and the X200 Pro, you have your answer. You should go with the X200 Pro. Save some money, invest that somewhere, and you will thank me later. So yeah, that's been it. This was my comparison between both of these phones. Do let me know what did you feel about this video in the comment section down below. If you have any more questions about these phones or anything else, let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to assist you. If you liked what you saw, hit that like button, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, because that would mean the world to me. My name is Harsh Punjabi, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.